Good afternoon. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming someone whose presence does not merely grace this occasion, but elevates it. I deem it an honor to introduce someone who is an educator, an innovator, a musician, and an entrepreneur with an international experience of over 30 years. Let's welcome Mr. C.P. Vishwanath, co-founder, MD, and CEO of Karadi Education Company, co-founder of Karadi Tales, India's pioneering audiobook venture, and director of pedagogy, Isha Vidya Rural Schools. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause.
Thank you.
As a main proponent of alternatives and creative education in India, Mr. Vishwanath has been rethinking entrenched systems and faulty pedagogies. This passion found expression when he embarked on a mission to reinvent language learning pedagogy based on India's unique multilingual experience. The Karadi pedagogy of language learning created by him has been identified by Pearson Worldwide and Project Literacy Lab San Francisco, USA as one of the top 16 innovations in the world that can close the global literacy gap. Mr. Vishwanath has created in Karadi a methodology that is an effective, low-cost, and scalable solution to experiential language learning. It borrows lessons from several diverse pedagogies, including music education and sports training. Karadi is revolutionizing the way English is being learned, leading a holistic outcomes in children and empowering the teaching community by making them embrace innovative learning methods. The Karadi Tales Children's Publishing House, co-founded by Mr. Vishwanath, is one of the most respected creators of children's content internationally, spanning content in the form of books, audiobooks, television, and other electronic media. Karadi Tales has become a favorite among children and parents. Karadi Tales has won prestigious international awards and is available in Spanish, Japanese, Italian, German, Arabic, and Portuguese besides English. As academic director of Isha Vidya Group of Schools on a voluntary basis, Mr. Vishwanath leads the academic team and steers the development of teacher-augmented self-learning methodologies to mitigate the challenge of poor availability of quality teachers in rural areas. Mr. Vishwanath is also a Carnatic vocalist and rhythmist and has given over 1,000 public performances. Mr. Vishwanath speaks and writes regularly on education and music. He has spoken on education at TEDx and various educational conferences and also at the Royal Institution of Great Britain. His writings have been featured in leading journals and newspapers, including the Times of India and Hindu. So, hearty welcome to sir.
Hello. Is it on?
Thank you, ma'am.
You'll have the slide. Tillana nadradim, tadaradani nadradim, nadradim, dim danana tillana nadradim, tananadani nadradim, nadradim, dim danana tillana nadradim, tananadani nadradim, dim danana. Tajanu dimita janu tadimita tarikita jam tarida jam inginatum tillana nadradim. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha, and a pleasure to be among esteemed educators. Thank you to Sahodaya, Chennai Sahodaya for having us here. Why did I begin our session with a song? In the process of that singing, a lot of themes, a lot of competencies were actually embedded and explored. So let me see if you recognize this. Da ra 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 ra, da ra 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 ra. What is the song? so this ragam is called Kuntalavarali, the ragam in which both of them were in the same raga. Kuntalavarali is actually quite a complicated raga. It has what is called a non-linear progression or a vakra prayoga in the raga, and is quite difficult to master if you know the theory of it. But if you don't know the theory of it, and I teach it to you like my name is Madhavi, you will learn it like this. When we look at the idea of metacognition, the fundamental thought process is that some of the things that we do nurture competencies that are beyond the direct impact of it. So which means that if I am learning Carnatic music and I am learning my early Sarali Varisais, all the time my brain is being tuned mathematically. Something as simple as sari 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 ga ma pada ni sa ni ni da ba ma ga re sa. That is, 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Then sari ga sari ga ma pada ni sa ni da ba ma ga re sa. That is 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. In this way, I will take that 8 and splice it in so many different ways, negotiate in so many different ways. My brain recognizes it. My brain learns from it. And so my tendency for mathematics or my nurturing of mathematics is happening in a very powerful way when I'm doing this. In the same way, when you look at different things that we do in school, sometimes we don't recognize that we are doing very powerful things in the curricular space, which are far more critical than the curricular space in terms of the learning, and especially in the context of metacognition, and especially in the context of the world in which we today are facing. We talked about Gen Z, and quite rightfully Mr. Gopinath said, you still don't know about Gen Alpha. The world that Gen Alpha will face is going to be something that we really cannot imagine. So what are we doing in school with Gen Alpha? What can we do with Gen Alpha that is going to be of immense value to them when they are citizens of the world, when they are the ones who are actually determining what is happening in the world? Changer is not working. Next. Yeah. Can we get the clicker to work? Just see if we can get it to work. Okay. Press one more button. Yeah. I have a maths problem, so we go from music to maths. I think you have, if you have received your bags, you have cards in them. Yeah, you can remove the cards. The same problem is there in the card, so you can read it from here as well. So first and foremost, can I get honest answers from all of you? How many of you can give me answers to all the problems that are here? How many of you feel confident? You don't even have to give me the answer. You just only have to raise your hands now. Do you feel you can understand and give the answer to this? Okay, very good. How many of your 4th standard students can do it? Without you teaching it, that they are reading the instruction. Based on the instruction, they are understanding what they have to do. And based on their understanding, they are solving the problem. What percentage of your 4th grade students can do this? Would it be reasonable to say that 80% of the students would not be able to do it? Yes or no? I need answers from the audience as a whole. Yes or no? Yeah. It's a reasonable. We have a good understanding of where they are, right? And we know what their ability to process language is, especially when it concerns slightly complex syntax, when it requires a lot of context and conceptual understanding in order for me to comprehend the direction that is given to me. But we don't think about it, right? So what does the mathematics teacher do? The maths teacher goes to the board and says, and will draw a line from, find the difference between the sum of the digits at odd places. Which are the digits at odd places? 1 and 0. What is the sum? 1. What is the even places? 4 and 8. What is the sum? 12. 12 minus 1 is it divisible by 11? Yes. Sum done, everybody is happy, maths teacher is happy, student is happy, nobody has understood anything. They know to do the sum, okay, but they have not understood the divisibility rule at a conceptual level. This, unfortunately, is the way that a lot of things. So today, it's not at all a surprise for me when I pose a mathematics problem to a large group of extremely qualified, extremely efficient principals, I will get a 5% answer to a 4th standard question. I am not exaggerating, and I am also not putting you down, simply because we have not been doing it for a long time. We never understood it conceptually when it was taught to us, so we can't today recall it and figure it out. We can't figure out how to answer that problem. So these are the answers, just for technical understanding. But moving forward, go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah. I think there has been enough talk about AI, but most important thing is when I talked about Gen Alpha, please note that it is not a long time away, but in the next 5 years, we are saying that 40% of the skills required in jobs today will change by 2030. 59% of the working population today will have to upskill and reskill themselves. And so we really need to move into learning agility. I need this to work if it can. So from just gathering knowledge to really becoming agile with learning knowledge. And what does that agility mean? Please move ahead. Learning agility fundamentally stems from this ability to learn. That is, how do I learn to learn rather than what is it that I learn? How is it that I learn? How do I negotiate the aspect of learning agility? Going back, go back. Yeah. Okay, fine, I'll do that. Okay. So you have to have adaptability, resilience, you have to have the ability to problem solve, you have to have the ability to collaborate, but most importantly, the ability to be adaptable and the ability to be agile is as equal as the ability itself in terms of learning. So the speed with which you learn, unlearn, and relearn becomes extraordinarily critical. Audio.
Looking for a job. And this is, again, a contrived example.
Yeah.
And you're interviewing the two candidates, and you say, oh, for part of this interview, I just want to ask you, what's the height of the spire on this building that we're in? And the candidate says, oh, I was an architect. I've majored in architecture for a while, and I memorized the heights of all the buildings on campus. I know. The height of that spire is 150 feet. In fact, 155 feet tall. Okay, turns out that's the right answer. That's the right answer. And the person came up with it in seconds. That person goes away, the next candidate walks in. Do you know the height of the spire on this building? The candidate says, no, but I'll be right back. Person runs outside, measures the length of the shadow of that spire on the ground, measures the length of his or her own shadow, ratios the height to the shadows, comes up with a number. Runs back inside, it's about 150 feet. Who are you going to hire? I'm hiring the person who figured it out, even though it took that person longer, even though the person's answer is not as precise. I'm hiring that person, because that person knows how to use the mind in a way not previously engaged. You realize when you know how to think, It empowers you far beyond those who know only what to think.
So this is a very critical transition that we need to make, and once again we will not get into the problem, but this is the Tanjavur temple in the background. I have given the height of the shadow of both the person, and I've also given the height of the actual person. If you can figure out what is the height of the Tanjavur temple, that will be a good answer. But the whole idea here is that this moving, transitioning from what to think to how to think is not a very simple transition. And a lot of what we are talking about nowadays in terms of art integration, music integration, transdisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, these are very, very critical elements that our children must be capable of. Our classrooms are our classrooms, and more importantly, our teachers are very poorly equipped to be able to deliver or transition from what to teach to how do I get my child to learn, how do I nurture self-learning as far as the child is concerned. You can just read this. So we need to go beyond what to learn to how to learn. And I think we'll just watch this very interesting little video. We received plenty of videos like this. Sound?
I salute my flag, it makes me proud. I'm an Indian, it says out loud.
I salute my flag.
I salute my flag.
It makes me proud.
It makes me proud.
I am Indian.
I am Indian.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
Three bright colors.
Three bright color.
Adorn my flag.
Adorn my flag.
Asa nahi, asa.
अच्छा अच्छा.
Adorn my flag.
Adorn my
ये लो,
flag.
ये दोन कोटे हैं ना, ये बंदा लगा है.
अच्छा अच्छा.
ये तीन कोटे हैं ना, ये उभरा लगा है.
अच्छा अच्छा.
Three bright colors. Adorn my flag.
Three bright color. Adorn my flag.
Saffron, white and green.
Saffron, white and green.
White है तो white. हरी है तो white
Oh,
बोले.
sorry, sorry.
Saffron, white and green.
Saffron, white and green.
Make me glad.
Makes me glad.
The Ashoka Chakra.
Ashoka Chakra.
The Ashoka Chakra.
Ashoka Chakra.
Blue on white.
Blue on white.
Spring for progress.
Spring for progress.
Kudasa Talasa.
अच्छा अच्छा. Spring for progress. Flying high.
आता तू कर.
The sun is shining, oh so high.
Next. Next slide, next slide.
The land is dry.
I think all of you, if you paid keen attention to the level of detail at which the child is imbibing and teaching her grandfather, you will realize that this is the outcome of tools that are very precise, of a teacher who has paid attention to a lot of things and ensured that whatever she has been trained in, she has transmitted to the student. And the outcome of that is this 4-year-old child knows the difference between rotate and spin. It's a very complex concept, but how many different things do you realize that the child is actually learned in that video? They are across disciplines. They are not related to maths, they are not related to science, they are related to every possible discipline that you can think about. And this is what is integration. You know, this very, a term where everybody says NEP aligned, it irritates me, and I'm being very honest here, is that aligning, integrating is a very complex concept. It needs a lot of intensity. it needs experts in every field to be working at it. So if has to be a musician, the musician has to be the best musician. If there has to be music composer, the music composer. If there's a theatrical activity, it has to be a theater actor who comes and does it. And then our teachers learn from there. Our teachers need good models to learn from. And you will see in the presentation that follows as to how Karadi Path actually does it in the classrooms. I think there are a few schools that are already doing it, but then let's look at it with a little more detail and also have a lot of fun. I know it is getting close to beyond lunchtime, but I can guarantee you that the next segment will keep you riveted. Thank you very much.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Check. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello. Check. Check.